So, welcome back, friends. The US President Donald Trump says that he has uh, signed letters to 12 countries outlining the various tariff levels that they would face on goods that they export to the United States, with the take it or leave it offers to be sent out on Monday. Now, Trump, speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One as he traveled to New Jersey, declined to name the countries involved, saying that they would be made public on Monday, which makes Monday as an interesting trading day. Trump had earlier on Thursday told reporters that he expected a first batch of letters to go out on Friday, a national holiday in the United States, the Independence Day, although the date has now shifted to Monday. In a global trade war that has upended financial markets and set off a scramble among policymakers to guard their economies, Trump in April announced a 10% base tariff rate applicable to all countries and an additional amounts for most countries, some ranging as high as 50%. However, all but the 10% base rate were subsequently suspended for 90 days to allow more time for negotiations to secure deals. That period ends on July 9, although Trump early on Friday said that the tariffs could be even higher, ranging up to 70%, with most set to get into effect on August 1. Trump and his top aides initially said that they would launch negotiations with scores of countries on tariff rates, but the US president has soared on that process after repeated setbacks with major trading partners, including Japan and the European Union. He touched on that briefly late on Friday, telling reporters that the letters are better, much easier to send a letter, simple, straightforward, and with his initials and signatures. The shift in the White House's strategy reflects the challenge of completing comprehensive trade agreements on everything from tariffs to non-tariff barriers, such as bans on agricultural imports, and especially on an accelerated time frame. Most past trade agreements have taken years of negotiations to complete. The only trade agreements reached to date are with Britain, which reached an agreement a few weeks back, and that was an interesting one, and also with Vietnam, which was very surprising, but you have 30% tax on imports from Vietnam, and for the US goods entering Vietnam, 0% tax. So that was a good trade deal that Donald Trump and his team did manage to fork out. In this exciting game of this week, we have Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying on Sunday that tariffs announced back in April will take effect on August 1 for countries that have not yet reached an agreement with President Donald Trump's administration. President Trump's going to be sending letters to some of America's trading partners saying that, hey, if you don't move things along, then on August 1, you will boomerang back to the April 2 tariff level. Remember the play card and President Trump displaying the various tariff rates to various countries, and they will come back to that level should there be no further improvement in the negotiations between the United States and the respective countries. On August 1, countries will get a letter saying that if you have not reached an agreement, hey, then you're back to April 2. So Bessent, of course, rejected the agreement that August 1 is yet another new tariff deadline. But the August date could still give trading partners more time to negotiate tariff rates. And we are saying that this is when it's happening. If you want to speed things up, have it hit. You want to go back to that old rate, then that's your choice. In April, Trump had announced a 90-day pause on the steep tariffs that he had unveiled just days prior on most major trading partners. The 90-day pause is due to expire on Wednesday, and naturally, there's great amount of concern among the investors and the US trading partners. So, well, this is really shifting the goalpost to some extent, giving a little breather, so as to say. And I'm sure the stock markets will also take it as a breather. Any breather means some more postponement of tariffs is good for the markets, right? After all, what will happen once these tariffs, there will be more than 10% for sure with many trading partners. Then they increase the inflation rate, inflation goes up. Everything, it cannot be absorbed by the country that is sending the goods into the United States, or by the importers, right? They will to some extent pass it on to the consumers. So consumers pay to some extent. Inflation rates, but that will be start getting announced, say from September 15 onwards. The headline inflation will start going up from September 15 onwards. So for those who are expecting interest rate cuts to happen in the very foreseeable future, I think they are missing the point. These negotiations are still going on. They have still not culminated. And wait, the first earliest signs that you will see of the CPI and the PPI in reflecting the true tariffs will be, I believe, September 15. Some more may get reflected around the middle of October 15, in that time frame. And that is where you will start seeing whether inflation is returning with a vengeance and what the Federal Reserve is going to do as a consequence. What will be Donald Trump's policy, and how the US Federal Reserve is going to tackle the increasing inflation as a consequence of the tariffs, and what will they be doing as a result thereafter. So friends, I think we're going to be in for some exciting few months. Wait, in the very short term, I believe the global stock market's getting a breather, because these increased reciprocal tariffs, which were supposed to be kicking in from July 9, are not going to come into effect. There is some more time the Trump administration is giving the countries. So we have little breathing space till, I would say, about August 1. Enjoy. Some more rally may come in the markets as a sigh of relief, and enjoy the party while it lasts before the new set of tariffs start kicking in. The new problems start getting enforced and start getting imposed in the US markets, in the US economy, the world economy. And that may have its own consequence on interest rates and the way the growth I see and the investing population sees as far as the returns from stock markets are concerned. So stock market could see a sigh of relief in the very short term, as per my expectations, before new troubles start kicking in, and that can, I think, snowball into higher inflation, higher interest rates. Nuril Rubini of Stern University calls this, there could be a mini stagflation, which is also likely. But so Dr. Doom does call it mini stagflation anyway. Respect him, respect the Trump administration, respect President Trump, his tremendous efforts. But I believe, and I think Donald Trump's efforts will succeed eventually. Sooner rather than later, you'll also start seeing the effects of interest rate cuts will also start coming in, even with this temporary rise in inflation due to tariffs. There are certain reasons. We'll cover it for you in the future videos. Do like and share our videos if you like them, and would love that you share it with your WhatsApp groups and with people who are interested to know about the US stock markets, the Indian stock markets, and world stock markets. Happy investing. Have a great day. And the number to get in touch with us to join any of our Telegram groups is 732-732-2720. Happy investing. Have a great investing week ahead. Take care. Bye-bye.